good morning, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of Monday Mix-Ups. I'm Dustin.
I'm Rosie.
And we're so excited to have you in a new month, the month of November. So what are we going to talk about today, Rosie?
Well, I don't know, to celebrate the new month, I'm using my fantastic mug. Guess how much I love you.
The Velveteen Rabbit. If you know, you know.
We're going to start talking today about self-taping and auditioning at home and equipment that you may need.
Maybe like kind of some of the equipment that we're using right now. But yeah, it's really important to have a couple key, and it doesn't have to be expensive, items in your chest of possibilities to use while you're doing your self-tapes. One of those is going to be a ring light on a stand. So you can have your camera positioned between your ring light. The ring light gives you a nice, beautiful glow to your environment, your place, and it's on a stand. So it can go up and down and match the environment, whether you're standing or sitting or whatever you're doing for your self-tape.
Yes, and some ring lights come with different covers for the lights. So you can have soft lighting, or you can have something that's more cool lighting. So depending on what your house is set up as and what your lighting situation is, you can aid to that.
You know, I think it's an opportunity that you can get into for less than $100, and most of the time less than $50. And what I would recommend doing first is talking to some of your existing acting friends who might be upgrading, and then you might be able to catch their hand-me-downs, and that's a great way to get into it and not have to spend a bunch of money. And then places like Amazon and other websites, your friends, sometimes even thrift stores, you can find cool stuff.
And I did an ad for a company, and they actually sent me the ring light that we're using today in a box so that I would have equipment that they could use.
Yeah, oftentimes if you're doing work like UGC, user-generated content, they might mail you what you're going to be shooting with and the ring light or any recording material, but it's just that easy to put stuff in the mail and send it to you, and then they don't want it back. So kudos for you. You get paid and you get a ring light.
That's right. And with the ring light, you might want to ask or check into the green screen.
Green screens are cool, and one of the reasons that we were just joking about why green screens might be useful is, why don't you tell them?
Well, sometimes your house is set up where you have a lot of things, a lot of photos, a lot of paintings, and the walls are full, and you can't have that plain background behind you, and it's really important to have that when you're auditioning, because you want the focus to be on you and not what's behind you. And so those green screens are really nice because you can set them up right behind you, and then no one can see if you have clutter, if you don't have clutter, if your art is maybe not what they're wanting to see, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I have one of those like in green screens. It's also blue on one side, and you know what I'm talking about, where you have to twist it a bunch of weird ways and stand on one leg and stick your tongue out so you get it back perfectly to go into it's very difficult. I'm not very good. I've seen people be able to twist them and put them away, but so I have one that's blue on one side and green on another. Then it can go into its little shape and in your closet, so it doesn't have to take up a lot of space. I think what we're trying to say is, like, it's hard to find a space in your house that just has a blank wall. We're all very creative. We want to have fun things up on our walls, but it's really important when you're doing self-tapes to not distract from the activity that you're doing with clutter. So green screens, backdrops. I mean, I've used sheets. You're on the road, sometimes you have to do different things. It's got to be creative.
Yeah, and speaking about that, being on the road, I've had to do a couple of auditions when I was on the road, and that really helped. So I guess to kind of bring everything together, you need a good ring light.
Yep.
And you need a good background, if something that's like that green screen.
I also recommend having some lighting. Now, you're going to have your lighting on your ring light, but also some additional lighting if you want to cast shadow or be dramatic or get light from overhead. I do have a light box that is also on a stand, and that comes in really handy.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we travel, in a little travel case that clips onto the top of my iPhone is a little light. So it doesn't make that noise, that comes extra.
Yeah. And then you can also have those, what did they used to call those, where people, the sticks.
Selfie sticks.
Selfie sticks. You can use that if you don't have a ring light.
So don't judge people all the time when they're out in public filming themselves and looking like, you know, don't judge them. They might be working. They might be just like you and trying to capture the perfect self-tape. And it's really important to have some of these low-key, under-budget, great value, sometimes hand-me-down props and objects for you to do good self-tapes. It's the first impression that you are going to leave with the client.
Right.
So get those things. That'll be a great first start. We can't wait to help get you started. We love giving you information and setting you up. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring a bell, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Happy Monday. Mix it up.
Happy Monday.